All right, let's jump into it. We did have
The 3-count question of the week.
and it was related to a post the other day that I saw on the WWE on Fox page. It was your WWE Mount Rushmore. So I decided to throw it out there and see some of the 3-count fans Mount Rushmores, as well as I figured we'd get ours here as well. So Ryan, why don't you kick us off here and let us know who. Now, do we want to go one at a time, or do you want to give your full, and then we'll just we'll go around?
Well, because I didn't plan for this, because I'm not a good co-host.
Clearly.
I will come up with the 4 right off the top of my head.
Okay.
Is it the WWE Mount Rushmore or the wrestling Mount Rushmore?
The official
The 3-count question of the week
says, who is your WWE Mount Rushmore? So I would include slash WWF because it is the same company, but
so that
now,
okay.
When we're quantifying this, because I did put my 4 of like my 4 favorite wrestlers, but is that what we're doing, or are we saying like the 4 wrestlers most important to WWF?
It was this kind of however you want to interpret it. If you want to make it your personal favorite Mount Rushmore, or if you want to take it as, the 4 most important superstars to the history of the WWE.
Well, since I already put my 4 favorite on the Facebook page, when I answer this time, I will do importance.
Perfect. So Ryan, let's
my all-time favorite wrestler, first of all, the Patriot. It's got to be up there. No, my Mount Rushmore would be probably those who impacted the business the most in professional wrestling. So my Mount Rushmore would be built as they were making their impact. This is how I would think of it. It would be Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and The Undertaker would be my 4 faces of Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Matt, who is your Mount Rushmore?
In terms of importance to the industry, it would be pretty similar to what Ryan did. So Hulk Hogan is on there, Stone Cold is on there, The Rock is on there, and I'm only replacing Undertaker with Cena just because it's that new era, and Cena's importance just because you have 3 people from the early 90s through the Attitude already, if you're keeping Undertaker on there. So
yeah, mine and I kind of interpret it as the most important to the company. So mine and it's right there: Hogan, Rock, Austin, Cena. I had a hard time. Cena and Andre were kind of because I'm like, if you don't have Andre, I don't think Hulkamania probably means as much because you don't get WrestleMania 3, so you don't get Hulkamania, and then but it's like, I do still think that Hogan, just based on because when he won his first title from the Iron Sheik, there was a level of importance to him, and there was he was very popular. So I thought maybe we could have gotten Hulkamania without Andre. And then, Austin and Rock, they just kind of go together, through the Attitude Era. And, I don't know if WWE wins the war and is still WWE without both of those. I mean, maybe if you would have had just Austin or maybe just The Rock, but I think both of them are so critical. And then, obviously John Cena speaks for himself. I mean, the last 15, almost 20 years through John Cena is, I mean, it's immeasurable. And then, so I bumped Andre for Cena. Now, Matt, you said you had posted your 4 favorites. Ryan, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot too, but I'll go to Matt first, and then because I just wrote mine down in terms of like my favorites, and then just for fun, let's do our top 4 women as well to the WWE. So, Matt, why don't we go ahead with your top 4, like your Mount Rushmore for your favorites?
All right. And I do need to look it up because sometimes that changes for me. So Eddie, Shawn, and Triple H were for sure on there. And it's always going to be the 4th one that kind of fluctuates depending on mood, depending on like what I just watched. And while I'm like filling time as I scroll through Facebook to find where I actually posted that, I would also say that Vince would probably be someone that you can put on for importance, not just because he's the owner of the company, but the whole like heel owner.
Sure.
And being that type of like villain that wrestling really needed. And Austin was the other one I put on number 4. But Vince, I think like you can see that in any indie wrestling federation. Like every single indie
Sure.
fed at this point has like that heel, not just Jason the Perfect Owner, but like a lot of other companies as well just kind of bought into that just because it's so easy to do. And I think Vince kind of made that the norm for wrestling.
I'm sorry, who did you say?
Huh?
What? Not just Jason the what? Who was that? The
Jason the Perfect Owner Smith.
There's a long way for a fart joke, man.
It certainly did. I hope it gets back to him too.
But yeah, so it was. Otherwise, my answer was Guerrero, Michaels, Triple H, and then Stone Cold.
All right, very good. Nikki here in the comments said her Mount Rushmore, Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, HBK. And then Tim says the 3 count Mount Rushmore: Shannon Moore, Shane Helms, Evan Courageous, and Tank Abbott.
Hey,
so you're getting the
Kobe.
the Kobe taker from last week for that one. My top 4 in terms of favorites, and I mean I guess I'm going to surprise you guys with this one. Bret Hart, number 1. I know it's surprising.
Up at number 1, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Brad!
Undertaker, Triple H, and Stone Cold.
At the home. Put him back to bed.
Jesus. Undertaker, Triple H, and Stone Cold round out my my top 4 favorites. Ryan, how about you?
Those are really good favorites. I think Matt made a great call. You don't have what we have today without Vince McMahon, so I think he would probably deserve that. And he probably deserves to be on the importance one more than some of the people that we said.
Yeah, I only thought of it, and it's funny. Like I only thought of it as performers, but you forget that Vince was also a performer as well, and I mean he is a former ECW champion as well. So it's not even.
I mean, what is the Attitude Era without Vince? What is Stone Cold Steve Austin if not Vince?
Yeah,
if not for Vince McMahon, it's a great call.
Yeah, it's a really good point. But Ryan, go ahead.
With that, I will not include Vince in mine. I did just go with like wrestlers. It would be Austin, Taker, Mick Foley, and the Ultimate Warrior. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, I got a Patriotic Warrior shirt. My brother got me that for Christmas.
You know what? When I think of the United States of America, I think of the Ultimate Warrior. That is the first name that comes to mind.
I mean, isn't Ultimate Warrior your like favorite wrestler of all time? Wasn't that
it would probably bounce between him and Austin of like my all-time favorites. And as a kid, like it was Warrior. Absolutely, growing up, the face paint, the tassels. I remember having like folders of Warrior like in school. Obviously, Austin was my teenage years. It was angsty, kind of angry. Give the finger to people, like that spoke a lot to me at that time too. So I don't know. It depends when you ask me, but it should probably Austin, followed by Warrior real close. Yeah.
I mean, there were two different paths for high school. You were either like the angsty Austin giving the finger, or you were on the DX giving people the suck it sign. So
That's fair.
that's kind of where Ryan and I converged. on the
Right,
high school
right.
path. I was more on the DX side.
Jim, you were more the Warrior guy, taking off your clothes and running through the hallways and shaking
Yeah,
the ropes, right?
100%. 100%. I got in so much trouble for doing that, and I never learned my lesson. It was weird. Just up
Every day
up the one
2:15,
side of the
here comes
middle
Jim.
school, and I would loop through the gym, and I'd come, always come back down. You start at the cafeteria, go up, and then once I'm really tired, I still have to go up like the other half of the school, and then I eventually, like after about like sixth period, I get around and start coming down then. Yeah, I was still fat and slow and out of shape back then. I mean, much better than I am
only
now.
when they had Stromboli days. That was the days you really morphed into.
Did they have
Warrior.
Did they have the Stromboli in middle school? I don't remember.
I don't know. Maybe not. It was definitely high school.
Definitely high school, because we used to haul out of the broadcasting room to make sure we got there in time.
That bully was the shit.
It was,
that was delicious.
so good. Apparently, it's no good anymore. Apparently, it's all like health. It's like all healthified now.
Oh,
thanks, Obama.
Yeah, it's like all it's all like whole wheat, like the crust, and it just come on. I'm sure the meat's not green anymore either. Like, I do remember that about the bully. Is the meat was kind of a greenish tint, but it was delicious.
It was all part of the game.
See, I got more up for the pizza boat day than Stromboli day.
Pizza boat was good. I did really enjoy though the pizza sticks. But the day, every so often, Stromboli Day would fall the day after Cheesesteak Day. And if you were lucky enough, you would get the cheesesteak Stromboli.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're doing something on like the local community page on the Facebook where they're taking like popular foods from this area.
Oh,
like
I saw that.
Bud, and the Warwick School District peanut butter and marshmallow sandwich.
Yes.
Made the list. That used to come in like the wax paper bag.
I have I actually have the recipe for that somebody posted in that group years ago.
It's butter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's peanut butter, marshmallow, and butter. Which, like, I'm sure at least two of those items are no longer allowed in schools. Peanut butter and butter.
Right.
I mean, during wrestling season, the fluffernutters were like the go-to item if you were trying to make weight. Like, you eat 3 of those, you're gaining like 6 pounds.
Oh,
easy.
I bet.
That's why I ate 3 of them.
Yeah, Ryan and I were trying to gain weight. We succeeded.
Right, that's why we were doing it.
We definitely succeeded. And then after you drink or after you eat them, you always,
I'm gonna drink a big glass of milk.
Because it's to get all that fluffernutter in your teeth. You just got to wash it down. All right, Lou joining in. Lou, how's it going, Lou? Josh
What's
says
up, Lou?
Josh says his top 4: Rock, Eddie, Cena, and Edge. Which it's Edge. Tim has his 4 as Dusty Rhodes, Eddie Guerrero, The Undertaker, and Roddy Piper. Just going to catch a few here from Twitter and Facebook. Rodney has Austin Foley, Vince, and Charlotte Flair. Which there wasn't a lot that had females, especially current, in their top 4 of all time. Charlie says Hogan, Austin, Andre, and Taker. Jumping over here on the Facebook, Justin has Taker, Hogan, Rock, and Cena. Lee has Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Andre the Giant. Mario had Hogan, Bruno, Andre, and The Undertaker. Bradley, Taker, Orton, Styles, and Reigns. So yeah, I mean we saw quite a different. Ryan, your Uncle Jason had the Brooklyn Brawler, and that was it.
Why wouldn't you?
Just one face on Mount Rushmore.
Appreciate his contributions. That's a monument. But he's close.
Yeah, but hey, and maybe I don't know. Maybe they carved it 4 times. I don't know.
And Brawler hasn't been canceled yet, so that's good.
That's true. He has not.
That one's at least still standing.
And let's go to women. Let's do our top 4, our all-time women. Nikki threw hers on there. Wendy Richter, Medusa, Bull Nakano, and Awesome Kong. So
When
that's
you
it.
said Nikki, I thought you were starting yours off with Nikki Bella, and I was.
I heard the same thing.
Oh, that's good. Ryan, do you have your 4 women?
Yeah. Much like you, it's just 4 Brie Bellas.
Don't
Kobe.
you dare take that tone with me.
It would be 2 from an earlier era. I think Trish and Lita would belong on there. Absolutely no questions asked. The woman, in my opinion, now that carries the division is Charlotte Flair. And then you absolutely cannot make a woman's monument without China on it. So China is my 4th.
Matt.
If we're talking importance into the industry, I'm gonna go with Mae Young, China, Trish, and thank you. And it's tough, but I'm gonna give my 4th to Stephanie.
Okay.
Just in terms of importance.
Wait. So you're willing to potentially memorialize Vince McMahon and Stephanie and no mention of Shane in this whole conversation?
I mean, we haven't gotten to like just all time like best.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. That's
We
fair.
did favorite and we did important to the industry, but we didn't do just like the best in-ring performers of all time.
Right. What's bigger than Mount Rushmore? That's what he would get. I get you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
My 4 are Trish,
China,
Lita, and of course, how could I make a list without?
You can look, but you can't touch. You can't.
No.
I thought you were going to say Bret Hart again. So surprise to me.
I was
and it's,
anticipating Natty.
it is not Natty. It is not Natty either. No, I think my number 4 would probably be Sunny. And I know she wasn't an in-ring superstar, but if you look at, the scope of especially our wrestling, I know, Ryan, stop it. But I mean, if you think about it, the mid 90s and from the cartoony era through the new generation into the Attitude Era, I mean, Sunny was a huge part of that.
I mean, let me know if she gives you the discount on the OnlyFans for this.
That's what I was shooting for. You got to shoot your shot at some point. But
she was. I mean, after they won Atomic Show, we had become friends on Facebook, but she has become that insufferable that I had to unfriend Sunny, which is 13-year-old Ryan is real pissed off at 36-year-old Ryan, but 36-year-old Ryan understands.
Yeah.
Off the deep end, man.
Yeah, she, and like I said, this is all about on WWE screen persona, not any other screen.
WWF
Or WWF, yes.
Once you got the E out.
Yeah. Tim says his women would be Medusa, China, Stephanie McMahon, Dixie Carter. He said,
Medusa, that's a great call, man. That's really good on the WCW.
Yeah,
side.
I mean, he said Medusa / Alundra Blaze, but I mean,
sure, no, I mean she was very impactful in WCW.
Nikki says she did an indie show. Sunny was there, and she was let down. Yeah, most people are. let's be honest. If you've met Sunny, you probably were let down.
So let me ask you this before we move on, because
Sure.
I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but Funko did tweet out, give us 5 wrestlers that we have not made a Funko
Oh
figure
shit! No,
for.
I didn't see that.
And they said you have to pick 5, no more, no less.
Wow.
And they can't already have a figure made. So to me, that meant no Mankind, because there is the Mick Foley.
Sure.
So I tweeted mine out, but now I'm putting you guys on the spot with that.
I got to pick 5. Abe Knuckleball Schwartz, Skinner,
Dude, Drosy.
Max Moon.
The
Max,
Beverly Brothers.
do you know Max Moon was the Beverly Brothers? That's fine. Did you know Max Moon was known as something else when he first debuted, and when he first debuted, it was at Hershey. And it was a different, and I forget the name. I just saw it as I was like, I pulled up an old Superstars or something from on the network, and it was from the Hershey Park Arena, and it wasn't.
I did know that. It was Kane the Undertaker.
But the Max Moon, it was like Mega Man in a wrestling ring. Was like kind of how I always compared the Max Moon character.
I believe two different people portrayed Max Moon.
I always thought it was just
supposed
Conan.
to be somebody really quick, and then it was Conan.
Yeah, I always knew it as just Conan. I didn't know that it was anybody else. Man, 5 that haven't been done. This is also testing my knowledge of who exactly has
I have a list printed somewhere. Because I was keeping track of which ones I have.
Well,
I went up to, because I have all of them at this point, so I went up to double check when I tweeted it out to make sure that some of the ones I was thinking weren't on the list. And now that I'm looking at the 5 that I did tweet, there's one notable omission for me that I would really like to see.
I mean, Eddie's one of them, because there has not been an Eddie Guerrero, so I definitely would put Eddie in there. Nikki says she wants a Barry Horowitz. That's a great. I loved Barry Horowitz. Let's see here. Because
I'm gonna go with Lita.
Okay.
For sure, Eddie Guerrero obviously made my list.
Well, there hasn't been a Trish, right?
there has been a Trish.
Okay.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
Dollar.
Has there been in Austin?
Multiple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there was variants of the one.
I
would love to see a Jeff Jarrett.
Okay. I mean, I'll go British Bulldog, Owen Hart, Jim Neidhart. That knocks off 3 for me.
Natty.
There we go. There's my 5. Yeah. See, it's a little hard for me because I don't own all of them, and I don't know who's been.
I mean, I'll give you mine, and you'll laugh. You'll laugh at the one, and I would scratch that one off, and replace it with someone else. So I had Eddie Guerrero, I had China, I had Jim Ross,
Okay.
I had Edge, and then I had the Big Show. But you can take the Big Show off and put in Gold Dust.
Okay.
With me.
I kind of thought Gold Dust, and I was like, but at the same time, obviously right now that isn't going to happen. Neither would the Jim Ross at this point, unfortunately. I mean, unless AEW gets in the Funko business, which I'm shocked they haven't.
New Japan dabbled in it.
Well, yeah, because there was was there Cody Bucks and Omega, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did I buy the Cody one? I may have bought the Cody one. We know I didn't buy the Young Bucks one.
The Cody one's solid.
Yeah,
The Young Bucks ones are pretty cool too. I got the Hot Topic one. But I don't know. I just didn't know if you guys could think of any glaring omissions, especially from 80s Attitude Era even that.
The biggest one I can think of was the Dean Ambrose pop that never came out.
Right.
Okay.
That's probably the big one. They had Seth Rollins 21, Roman Reigns was 23, and they never released the number 22 WWE Funko Pop, which I'm assuming had to be for Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Right. Was there ever
to this day, it just skips right the fuck over. They could go back and just release anybody as 22.
Right.
Why not, I guess.
Josh says Rey Mysterio. I don't believe there's a Mysterio one. Oh, is there?
Yeah, number 4.
Man, Nikki's awesome. Bastion Booger.
Oh man. Ludwig Borga.
There was never a Sable one, was there?
No.
Because she's she's kind of more or less seems to be almost excommunicated from WWE history. You don't see her brought up in much of anything really. So there's one that I can think of from the kind of the Attitude Era.
There's not a Sunny Pop either.
No. I don't think there was ever like a Jerry the King Lawler. I think if you could do the set of like Lawler and King would be a solid set.
There was never an X-Pac or a New Age Outlaws.
No. This thinking of like great the King and JR as a commentary team, I would love to see a Gorilla and Bobby set.
Oh,
Would be solid.
Bobby Heenan would be great.
Nikki says Deborah as well. Was there a shit? I just had it. There was never like a Mr. Perfect. So you can kind of dig back into some
Texas Tornado with a wooden foot or something like that. It'd be a lot of good choices.
Paul Diamond was the other Max Moon. Tim says. Paul Diamond.
Yes.
He was also Kato in the Orient Express. Charlie's with us. How we doing?
Paul Bearer Funko Pop would be pretty awesome too. Holding the urn.
Yeah, that would be a great one.
There's not a Hacksaw Jim Duggan. There's a lot. There really is a lot they could go with.
I feel like the early '90s, like when we were first getting into wrestling, would be a great kind of set to dig into because you had a lot of great characters. Like I feel like once you got into the Attitude Era, it was just like Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman, and nothing against those guys, but like it's literally just like human, guy with beard. Yeah, like a Doink the Clown, Duke the Dumpster Drozy, different characters that had face paint or masks or what have you. I think was there ever a Kane Funko Pop? Okay, yeah. See, I don't.
Actually a pretty solid pop too. Yeah,
I would imagine. But yeah, those are a couple that come to mind as well. So that's a great topic though. I actually need to like dig in a little bit more and figure out which ones I don't have. And I'm never gonna hunt down and get all of them. At this point, there's no way. But there's probably some that I want to get.
You really have to stay on top of it because once they're like out of line, then the price just skyrockets. Like the Rey Mysterio pops are worth like $120 now. The AJ Lee one that I have is worth like $260.
Holy shit!
If I was ever in a pinch, I could try to sell it, but like, I mean, when you get those for like $10, and like if you wanted to then turn around and flip them, you can make.
Well, are the Punk ones are still going for crazy numbers too? I bet
about like 120 or so.
Wow. So the AJ Lee ones are going even more. But like,
I think that's the most expensive one probably in the set, right? Is AJ Lee.
Every so often there's like it's like M3 Toys or something. We'll do these like mystery boxes where you buy one for like $10 and you'll get like 2 pops or something in it. And there was a couple of times where they had CM Punks on there, and one of them was the variant with like the pink and black.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was like $50, but you got like 3 or 4 pops in the box, and I almost jumped on it. But yeah, then again, like if you don't get one of the high value ones, you just end up like with 2 Lucky Charms and a Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something, Which I mean, I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but like I'm not dropping $50 for a Cinnamon Toast Crunch Funko Pop.
I mean, you could have said Dax Prescott and you've been fine, but whatever.
Sure. Dax Shepard Prescott.
Yeah, it's the same guy. It's his middle name. Fuck you.
Yeah, I kind of fell behind because I was wanting to do the same thing with the retro figures, and they came out. It seemed like every like 2 months, but then like the local WalMarts and stuff never had them. Thanks.
They did have them.
Thanks, buddy.
Larry fucking pizza.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. So now it's just a matter of like I think like 6 months ago or something I went on and I found a full series on eBay. So, I just have to. I have a list written down of the ones I still need. Charlie says off topic. He wants an Arthur Fleck Joker pop. Cool. Not my bag, but
didn't love the movie. I don't know.
Was that the
Joker.
yeah, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker? Is that the one? Is that the movie?
I think so.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it yet. It's out of all the things I should be doing throughout this time. I should be catching up on movies. I'm still on episode 2
are
of the Big Show
Netflixing.
show. I do have Netflix, yes.
Which is exciting. You're Netflixing now. Which
And
is
did you at
great.
least get the Fiend Funko Pop?
I haven't yet. I do need that. That's one I definitely
That one's
need to pick up, and I may actually do that this weekend. Grab a couple of
the
them.
Robe Taker one was pretty good too. It's a solid one.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
Sasha Banks doesn't have one, does she?
Yeah, she does.
Oh, I was unaware. Oh no, it is. She's in like I think it's the pink attire, I believe.
Yeah, she has the boss sunglasses on.
Yes, the ball. Yep. Yeah, you're right.